Let's bring in CJ Pearson. We'll try to get back to you, Grady, in just a second. CJ, when you see all of this action out of D.C., when you see the tumult and the calls about chaos, when you see the attacks on Elon Musk, the distracting attacks by the media and Democrats blaming Elon Musk as Twitter is exploding with details on government waste, pork, and overspending that is taxation, that does create inflation. When you see what's going on, does it feel like a new world to you, CJ, that America is waking up to what is going on in D.C.?
You know, it definitely does feel like a new world to me, a new world that was ushered in by President Trump's resounding victory and the mandate that he was given by the American people to cut the very waste that he is looking to do right now. They can blame Elon Musk, they can blame Vivek Ramaswamy all they want. The American people voted for this, and we are going to give them exactly what they voted for as they deserve.
You know, CJ, so Elon Musk, President Trump, Vivek Ramaswamy talking about cutting $2 trillion in debt spending out of the U.S. government. The U.S. debt is now $36 trillion. Again, that's a really danger zone for the U.S. to be in, as the cost of the interest on that debt now surpasses the budget for the Pentagon. But when you see stories like the Biden White House is hiring 1,200 new diversity, equity, and inclusion bureaucrats to work in the government, when you see stories coming out here that we're seeing that the Biden White House wants $241 billion more for DEI throughout 430 U.S. agencies, all of them, the Pentagon, State Department. When you see those numbers coming in as Biden is going out the door, he is still spending into oblivion.
You know, you're exactly right, Liz. And I got to tell you, on November 5th, the American people did not mince any words. They wanted DEI to DIE, and that's exactly what we are going to bring about. I got to tell you, Liz, too, I take this personally. I'm 22 years old, and I am tired of watching these swamp creatures barter away my future with their reckless spending and have no idea of how they're actually going to make these cuts and actually ensure that my generation has the opportunity to grow up in America just as great as the one that they did. Elon Musk is a bold, decisive leader, as is President Trump, and I think that they would be wise to follow their play, to follow their lead, and when the coach says run the ball, you better damn well run the ball.
Yeah, but do you think Republicans are going to take it and run the ball? Because the first go around, it was kind of a scare that, you know, they basically were not really seeming up to the task of cutting waste.
You're right, and it's unfortunate. I think that, you know, Elon's actually completely correct when he says if they don't want to run the ball, if they don't want to follow the play that the coach has called, they need to be primaried and they need to be shown the door. The American people put them in these offices, and if they don't follow their oath, if they don't do what they were put there to do, then they should lose their office.
But, you know, the point about primarying, Trump says he's going to primary people. Elon Musk says he's going to use his funding to fund people, rather politicians, to primary those who go up against Trump or are not on board with his push to cut government waste and pork. When you hear, you know, Democrats in the media say, well, it should be President Musk, they don't like the President Trump is relying on Elon Musk and Elon Musk primarying politicians. They think that is a danger, that democracy somehow is in danger for what Elon Musk is doing.
No, I think they're absolutely completely incorrect. Again, it goes back to the mandate that the American people gave to President Trump and those who support him is to actually take the bold and decisive actions that we're seeing right now. This entire idea that we even need to pass the CR is completely false. We need to get back to the place where we're actually voting on single issue budget bills. You know, you had all these people saying, oh, we need to pass this crazy CR because we need disaster relief funding. Why don't we just vote on disaster relief funding? I'm from Augusta, Georgia, which was decimated by Hurricane Helene. Instead of playing politics, let's just actually govern in the way in which the American people expect us to do. And I think all of these problems would solve themselves. But the swamp doesn't want to work. No one wants to work these days. And it's unfortunate because that's exactly what we voted for them to do.
Do you think that was the wake-up call when you say we see it now? Hurricane Helene victims in North Carolina still sleeping and living in tents, as the criticism has been the Biden White House was giving money overseas, but the president was saying he wants $100 billion in disaster aid now for hurricane victims and disaster victims, but giving money overseas.
Yeah, you know, it's absolutely disgusting that, you know, President Biden, even in his last days in this office, continues to desecrate his office and embarrass the American people and the oath he took to put the American people first, instead choosing to put people who don't even live in this country ahead of those who are living on cots in North Carolina, and many of which have lost their entire way of life and ability to provide for their families. It is disgusting, but it is unsurprising, and it's par for the course for this president, and that's exactly why in just 30 short days, I am so excited that President Trump will walk back into the White House and right this ship.
Okay, let's thank you so much, CJ.